Today we're gonna talk about the origin of Brazilian Portuguese diminutive. Celebrating the 7th of September in the bicentenary of Brazilian independence today, it is important not only to celebrate the history of Brazil, but to remind us of historical events that made this culture from scratch. Brazil really is a big mix of everything, and its glorious and rich culture is due to a great combination of other cultures, mainly African ones. Back in slavery times, slaves developed many resistance techniques to survive, like the worldwide known Brazilian capoeira fight practice and the main national dish, feijoada, which first originated when African women had to cook pork leftovers from the big meals the farm owners had so they could feed themselves, and African men that had to work in harvesting. Another interesting element Africans brought to warmth Brazilian culture even more and make it what we reckon nowadays as the culture of nice, kind, and loving people was the diminutive suffixes. In times of slavery, it was believed by white people in Brazil that raising children was a role in which female slaves were best at acting, since white women would get married at a young age and consequently develop feeding issues or even die giving birth. That way, white newborns would be sent to African ladies and be fed and raised by them until they were old enough to be sent to their families again. Amas de leite was how these ladies were known. Amas had this very human act of raising children that weren't even theirs, and with love. They would raise these children, telling them stories to sleep, bathing and changing them, teaching them prayers, teaching them how to speak with that good old accent of theirs, and feeding them. The so used diminutive suffixes in Brazilian Portuguese also came from these ladies who had to learn a new language and adapt to a whole new culture. They would currently call these children by names like Nhonhô, Bambanho, Didinho, Bimbinha, Nezinhos, Chiquinhas, and so on. As unexpected as it might sound, these babies would get attached to the African ladies and recognize them as their mother figures as they grew up. Brazilian moms actually only came to realize their active motherhood about a century ago. If you'd like to learn more about Brazilian culture and its influence from African people, I definitely recommend you read Casa Grande e Senzala by Brazilian writer Gilberto Freire. Viva a cultura afro-brasileira!